Welcome to the 53rd episode of the Mayor's Mixtape. I am Haley Sue Robinson, Director of Public Affairs for the City of Pueblo.
I'm Heather Graham, City of Pueblo Mayor.
And I am Selena Ruiz-Gomez, Councilor At-Large.
Awesome. Great to have you, Councilor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
I'd like to remind the listener that we're available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch us on local channel 17. And I would encourage you to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with your friends. And don't forget, if you have a question or a topic suggestion for Mayor Graham to cover, you can email us at mayor@pueblo.us. All right, so Councilor Ruiz-Gomez, welcome to the podcast. We're excited to have you here today. You're currently in your first year of your first four-year term on council, and you're the work session chair for City Council. Let's get to know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself in case our listeners, maybe this is their first time meeting you.
Okay, great. Well, good morning, Pueblo. I'm happy to be here today. Thank you, Mayor Graham and your staff for having me. Again, my name is Selena Ruiz-Gomez, and in my day job, actually, I am a licensed professional counselor. I've been working in the field now for almost 15 years. I'd like to say that I am Pueblo grown. I was born in Denver and grew up in El Paso, Texas. When I was 15, my family moved back here. My mother's family is very, very established in the Pueblo community with ties to the Grove. We still have our home on D Street. Cool. So it's very cool to do that and to been very fortunate to have been able to come to Pueblo at a just kind of a different age. I was 15 and gone to school here and been educated here in this community, went to college here and employed here my whole life. So I think it's very a very unique piece of my story to say that my story is full circle and being rooted here in Pueblo and feeling very blessed to have been invested in this community and being able to use my skills and talents to invest back into Pueblo.
I think it's pretty obvious that you have strong ties in Pueblo because you had the largest crowd I have ever seen for the swearing in ceremony. We asked folks who were just coming for just the meeting and not for the swearing in if they could leave the chambers so more friends and family could come in for council, and we couldn't even take your picture up at the dais with everybody that came to support you because there were so many people. So I think it's obvious that you have strong roots and strong ties in Pueblo.
Yes, sure. I couldn't. I have a very big and beautiful family here in Pueblo, and we one of the things that I think that our family values is showing up for each other when it's necessary, and so yeah, that's just all the friends and fam.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to get involved in local government and throw your hat in the ring for politics?
Oh, well, I could tell you that, I've always been interested in politics. Mm-hmm. My family is a very political savvy family. We talk about politics at the dinner table all the time, even with the young ones. My grandmother in El Paso was a community organizer. My dad and my mother are both union laborers. So it's always been that of a conversation and a culture in my family. And in college, it kind of stemmed even further after I did a semester at the legislator.
Okay. And
learning about how that goes. So that just kind of fueled my passion for people and for policy. But one of the biggest things that made me run for office was with the outcome of the Your Idea, Your Neighborhood project, and how I felt being involved with that and making it a piece of an exploration for Pueblo and shared governance, and just kind of how that all turned out. Just made me want to bring a voice back to Pueblo and into government and understanding what that means. And so that made me run and was one of the main motivators. But to be quite honest, it was a lot of contemplation to decide. I didn't know if there was a path to win.
Sure.
And it took a lot of convincing to make the decision. So I'm glad I did it. It was a beautiful journey, a hard journey, challenging journey. But I'm grateful for everyone who believed in me, stood with me, and helped me make it happen. So,
I think maybe surprisingly to some folks, you and Mayor Graham actually have a lot in common. Both being when you first were elected at-large city councilors, young women in the community. Mayor, we've had you share some, maybe things that you've learned or suggestions that you have to new council. I know Councilor Ruiz-Gomez has had a couple of months under her belt, but is there any advice that maybe you would give?
I think just, stay true to your convictions and your story and why you ran, even when you're feeling challenged, which will probably be every week. You were elected by the people, and you were really elected by the people, because I know you got a ton of...
It was overwhelmingly the most votes by any council member.
Yep. And so I really like Selena's, the way she runs the work sessions. It's very prompt, and she keeps everybody in line and on time. And that's something that we haven't seen for the last couple of years. And so I think you're doing an excellent job at that, and really bringing back some decorum to the city council work sessions that we didn't previously have. Previously, it was kind of just like a free-for-all. And so I really like the way you keep it going and keep the conversation tactful and informative for the viewers, because I think that that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
So, Counselor, can you share with us some of your goals that you have over the next 4 years, or maybe even just in your first year in office?
Okay. So I think that it's no secret that the previous council was not a group that worked well together, and that was a large reason why I think that the direction of the election with the shift and the changed. So being a therapist, and not that I'm trying to therapize the council, but I understand the importance with groups and people, that the foundation is that rapport building. So it's been a couple of months, and I think that was the main thing for now, is to spend this first piece building rapport with each of the council members, and I feel like that has gone very well. From the day of the election, folks on the council called and were welcoming and open, and all my colleagues on the council have been very helpful in helping us new ones learn the ropes. So I think that's gelling in a positive direction in my mind. I was very proud of my colleagues at Retreat, where we all made commitments on how we were going to work together on the council. So I think building that foundation for me and being a leader and helping to support those relationships to happen was most important at first. But I'm very aware of the community's need and voice for addressing mental health and substance use in our community. It's evidenced by the community needs assessment that was completed 2 summers ago. And so I think that moving forward into what's left of the term is to just support and advocate for anything and everything that would support, making sure that we are doing everything we can in whatever way to make those resources and needs get met in our community.
Sure, and that can happen in a variety of ways, whether it's supporting those services at the Pueblo shelter, or it's through support with other nonprofit organizations through CSAC, or maybe through your contingency funds on city council. There's a lot of ways that you as council can advocate, or you as the mayor can advocate for those things. So that's exciting. Speaking of which, as far as some of your priorities, you also serve on quite a few boards and commissions, and that's part of your role as a counselor. Can you talk a little bit about what that's like, or it has been like so far to be serve on some of those boards, and maybe what you hope to bring with your background?
Yes. The boards, so far I've just worked on the PACOG board, and that's only been a couple months. So haven't had really a lot of action on the boards that I've been assigned to. I'm sure that'll change. And I know that there's some wonderful transportation things that are going to be happening on respect to the PACOG board. But in the community, there's quite a few things. For example, where I work, there's a shared governance committee. It's a committee that's focused on working to build stronger services for Hispanic and Latinx members in our community to address the gaps in mental health services that are present. So I serve on that, and that's really important work for me, especially because I'm bilingual and can speak the language. And
you were bilingual?
Oh, sí. I'll have to give you an entrevista en español.
Fantastic.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard a little bit of Spanish from you on the dais, but I mean, I can also speak a little Spanish, but I would never call myself bilingual. Yeah. That's exciting. That's really cool.
Yeah, so my dad's from Mexico.
Okay.
Our immigrant family in 1956. They moved here from Chihuahua, Santa Barbara, Chihuahua. And I grew up in El Paso, Texas. So I... it wasn't Spanish or English wasn't my first language. It just was all
all at once.
Both.
Yes. It was all at once.
Wow.
So, and growing up in a community like that, it's just kind of like, there it is. And, my family at the time, we just always spoke English or Spanish as a choice, but we knew English, So that's servicing that my community and my culture and the folks in my cultures, and recognizing those needs is really important. So I appreciate that opportunity, and recognizing that the company I work for values the shared governance and letting the folks who do the work address the work. And then I also do work with on another committee that's for mental health providers for training and wellness, and because this is hard work to our job. Folks who work in mental health, it's rough. It's rough out there, and so we have to do what we can to support each other so that we can have good longevity to be there for the community. So that's awesome. And then I also serve on the board for Center for Health Progress, and they are an up and coming organization in our community. And in fact, I will say that it was at a convention that Center for Health Progress sent me to in the nation's capital, where I committed to running for office 2 summers ago within the next 5 years. And then they're like, oh, wow, here you are. It didn't even take you 5 years. Wow. So that's the kind of stuff that Center for Health Progress does. And we are just so focused on making sure that we're working toward a more equitable place in our healthcare system, and addressing those. I know right now we're working on a bill that's going to address medical debt in our community. Okay. And we're all one health crisis away from going bankrupt. And so I'm really proud of the organization and the work that's moving on in the legislature, and hope that it'll go through. So, those are it's about shared governance and working for those things that matter most to people. And one thing is healthcare, I think, and their access.
That's great. So, it's kind of like a nice marriage between your day job and then your elected position as a counselor, and what you bring with your background and your knowledge, and how you plan to fit that with serving the community outside of what you have already committed to do.
Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic, because I think about, you always have the opportunity to advance in your career and that, and it's kind of like, sometimes I go to events and see all of the bosses, and I'm like, hi. And it's like just an interesting dynamic. It's like our therapist is here, and then it's on the council, and to kind of see that just the grassroots shift is really exciting for me, and to let people know that you can do it. It's that's what's exciting, is to just kind of be like, there's the counselor that works every day with people, and here's what's up, and understands what's going on, and you're in that position to be impactful in making policy. Is just a really interesting and great marriage. I think you're right.
Well, and I think there's some similarities as far as that grassroots, or someone who doesn't necessarily come from politics and is still working. You know, Mayor Graham, when you were on council, people would sometimes be like, "You still smell like the kitchen," and we're surprised that you.
Oh, you didn't take a shower before you came to city council?
No, I don't think that's what I was going to say. I meant like that you actually cooked.
Yeah, I literally work every day.
Yeah,
like Councilor Ruiz-Gomez, and then shuffle to get here at 5:30 and work another 5 hours, 6 hours for the community, because there are council people, especially when most of the people were retired.
Oh yeah.
And so we had 2 jobs going on, right? Like your full-time work and then your city work. And so it's a little bit different for us.
It is. It's definitely a balancing act for sure. And I'm just really fortunate and blessed that I work for a great organization that's supportive and values me as a clinician, that they're like, let's just figure it out. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah.
That's exciting to see that kind of support happen across the community, and then to have that professional support so that you can stay committed to both pieces. Speaking of commitment, Mayor Graham, you've shared a lot that this year you have a commitment to really working with the council, and so it feels like there's been a shift this year, just in the short few months that we've had in 2026. But can you talk a little bit and maybe share with Councilor Ruiz-Gomez what that commitment looks like, or how you think that relationship will continue to unfold?
Yeah, I mean, we have 8 elected officials within this government, and we have 2 different roles. So I execute city council's policy. They create the policy, I execute it. I do create policy too. Like, still a city councilor sometimes, because I'm like, hey, this is something we should do that can change the community for better, right? Let's look at improving the needs and meeting the needs. And because I do this for my full-time job, sometimes I see things differently than city council does. So they've been very gracious when it comes to listening to my ideas. I meet with the members every other Friday with Councilor Ruiz-Gomez. Councilor Hernandez and I meet every week. Councilor Boston and I meet every couple weeks. Councilor Dante and I meet every couple weeks. And so there's this really good pattern of, if there's questions or more communication that needs to happen, or the counselors need something, I think that collaboration is being seen this year. We're now on the same floor, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're just right across. So I did get to see Diane, going back and forth yesterday. She had some meetings in the office. And so it was nice to see city councilors and City Hall, and being able to have offices and do their work and have their meetings. And so I look forward to the continued working together. I think that it's important for our community, and whether we agree or disagree, we need to have those conversations, and we need to figure out what's the best direction for the community.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. Anything else that you think that our listeners should know about you, Councilor Ruiz-Gomez?
Oh, okay.
I know that's like a loaded question, because there's probably so many things, right? But
oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess that, the one thing that I just always have emphasized since I was elected is just really reinforcing to the community that this is not ever my seat. It's our seat. It's our voice. So I need to hear from you. If if there's something going on, please tell me, and I will do our best to respond and work through and problem solve. I think that what I would like to say to the community is, like, I welcome you into our chamber. I welcome you into our government. It's yours. It's yours. And I'm just here to represent represent you. And I'm very gracious for the opportunity to be able to represent Pueblo in such a capacity. And I'm just really humbled for what my election means for Pueblo and what it means for people of color like me and women and immigrants even, because that's my story. And to let you know that we can do it. And I'm, again, really just looking forward to working with the mayor's office and the administration and with all the other council folks, our council members and colleagues, to just start to bring a path forward. I believe in the potential of Pueblo. I know that one of the biggest strengths of Pueblo is community, and when we start to say that when we start to work together and gravitate toward community, as we can make wonderful things happen. So I'm just excited. I'm very happy to have met all of the folks that I've met so far in this journey. Pueblo, you're beautiful and wonderful, and I'm just very grateful for this opportunity. And also hold me accountable when I'm like screwing up. I'm not afraid of that feedback either. That's one of the things that, I'm not going to be like, oh, wow, I won't get my feelings hurt. I appreciate the feedback. So I'm here for you. My information is on the city website with my email and my cell phone information. And pretty soon we'll be looking at holding a meet and greet. I know that Councilor Dante and I have talked about hosting a town hall for District 1 pretty soon. So seeing all those collaborations and things happening are exciting.
That's great. I think a couple of things that you hit on are especially pertinent to Pueblo. I mean, I completely agree that one of our strengths in Pueblo is our community. And, although folks maybe have different focus areas that are important to them, there are groups that really rally around those focus areas, and that is totally our strength. The other thing is, and I think Councilor Ruiz-Gomez and you, Mayor Graham, have both kind of committed to humanizing government. And when it comes to local government, it can be a little bit daunting or confusing to folks. I mean, you think about it. We just drive on our roads every day. You take the bus. You enjoy parks, the amenities in Pueblo, and those are all government pieces. And we don't necessarily think of it that way. But then to also humanize the government as far as inviting folks in to hold you accountable, to ask questions, to be approachable. I know you, Mayor Graham, have told people whether you voted for me or not, you're welcome to call my office and speak to me. And
they do.
Yeah. Oh, and they do. we hear it all the time.
Sometimes that's like the first words. I didn't vote for you, but can you help me with this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think those things are important too. So I just appreciate that Pueblo government feels more accessible and more humanized in that sense. So that's exciting. Anything else you want to add?
No, just thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was really nice to get to know you a little bit better. I feel like we learned the fact that you're bilingual, so now we're...
Should I say goodbye in Spanish?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me see what I want to say. Okay. Bienvenidos a tu gobierno, Pueblo, Colorado. Estamos aquí para ustedes.
Oh, I love it. That's great. Okay, well, before I say goodbye in English, I do want to remind folks we have an upcoming event. We have a wastewater community meeting on Wednesday, April 8th at 5:30 at the YMCA located at 3200 East Spalding. And that's to learn about the sewer system rehabilitation program. You can find more information on our Facebook page, on the website, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can also follow us on Nextdoor or X. And again, I'd like to just remind you that you can find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, wherever you get your podcasts, and find us on Channel 17. And if you have questions or topic suggestions, email us, mayor@pueblo.us. And we will see you next week.
Hasta luego.